and teaching and research are done by the highest ethical standards? And how do we even ensure that we provide our students and even faculty insights to support them to aspire to plan their lives around higher education? And I think these are very important issues that we all need to reflect on a regular basis. Since most of the issues I wanted to talk about have been raised by the previous speakers, I would like to make a few comments from the health research perspective. When we're looking at ethical research, we look at 4 key areas. We talk about autonomy, we talk about beneficence, we talk about non-malfeasance, and we talk about justice. And I would like to apply them within the context of higher education. So the commonest or the simplest one to talk about is the whole issue of beneficence. Beneficence in research basically means that whatever it is that you're doing must be, in simple terms, beneficial to the population that you are studying. So if I were to apply it to the higher educational setting, I guess everything that we do in higher education, we must ask ourselves, what is the benefit? Essentially, at the end of the day, how beneficial is this to the community, to the students, to the faculty, to the university administrators, to the whole environment? How beneficial is this? The flip side is the whole issue of non-malfeasance, which in medical terms would mean do no harm. Are some things that we're doing on our university campuses causing harm to the development of our students, to the growth of our students, to the growth of the university as a whole? Or how are we ensuring that the systems that we put in place do not, at the end of the day, cause harm to anybody in the environment? This is a very tall order, but if we are to look at ethical higher education, I believe that this is an issue that we need to confront in a very special way. Autonomy basically obliges us to ensure that we respect the decisions of our participants in research. So in higher educational setting, what do we do to ensure that the voices of our key stakeholders are integrated into all our policy formulations and all our decision-making processes? Are students involved in policy formulation? Are they at the table when discussions are being had? Are junior workers being engaged? Are all categories of staff being engaged to ensure that their voices are heard and they participate effectively in all these decisions and the general growth of the university? And the final one, which talks about justice, is to ensure there should be equitable distribution of the benefits of the research. All our stakeholders benefiting from the results or the outcomes of our endeavors. I believe these are very challenging things to achieve, but if we were able to ensure that there was autonomy, there was beneficence, there was non-malfeasance, and there was justice as well, we could go a very long way to ensure that we have a very good environment for higher educational development. It is when we've done that the other issues that we talk about, which are the core behavioral norms, looking at veracity, looking at privacy, confidentiality, and fidelity, which are all issues of ethics that we need to bring to bear on our educational setting, would become of use to all of us. My little experience in the higher educational space suggests that, at least in this country, we have quite a long way to go as far as ensuring all our stakeholders participate effectively in university governance, in decision making, and also to ensure that some basic ethical standards are maintained. It is a challenge, but I sincerely believe that challenges are there for us to resolve. Very happy as Vice Chancellors Ghana to partner with you to ensure that we resolve these issues to the best of our abilities. There might be some that we may need to do some further research to find out how best to address them. But I don't believe it is rocket science. It means sitting around the table and talking and talking and talking. So on that note, Vice Chancellors Ghana wish you a very successful meeting, and we are very happy to partner with you. Have a good meeting, and thank you.
Thank you once again, Prof. Japon. Thank you for your deep understanding of the university system and your contribution. And we'll continue to depend on you, call on you to guide us as we get along. As you are well aware, it's a development process, and we hope that at the end of the journey, there will be something that all stakeholders will see is beneficial. It will enhance the quality of our education and our system, our society as a whole. We have, Global E.T.H.I.C.S has a relationship which is growing with African Association of African Universities. In fact, Professor Biara, the last time was in Ghana, paid a courtesy call on the Association of African Universities. We have a number of institutions across Africa where we actually have offices on their campus. I have been to the UNISA campus in South Africa, in Pretoria, the office of Global E.T.H.I.C.S there. We also have an office in Godfrey Okoye in Nigeria, Abuja. We have an office in Veritas in Nigeria. We also have an office in Catholic University of East Africa in Kenya. And the list is growing. We have partner institutions that we have permanent, so that those institutions value, they put so much premium. And I believe that these institutions are connected to the Association of African Universities, some way, somehow. And we are glad that we can develop that relationship further. We want to deepen it. And so we have a message from the Secretary General, Professor Etienne Ehile, who would say a few words on this occasion. So let us hear from the Association of African Universities. Thank you. Please speak, Professor. I saw they have their TV on, AAU TV. Yeah, they're on.
TV is on, but we are waiting for Professor to speak.
You can speak now. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
So we are here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Hi, Professor.
Hello?
As you go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Mr. Chair, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Permit me to add my voice to those of the precedent speakers and extend a warm welcome of the Association of African Universities to all participants to this important conference and workshop coming for the next 4 days. I would like to overall thank all the participants who were able to travel all the way to Accra in spite of this COVID-19 era. I will also like to commend Globe E.T.H.I.C.S and the organizers of the event for this important initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, higher education is our common concern, and also the raison d'etre of the Association of African Universities, who has been implementing many and various programs to assist her member institutions since 1967 in order to meet their core function of teaching, research, and community engagement. I hope this conference and the following workshop will bring more insights in the understanding of the topic, higher education model of excellence framework. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all participants fruitful discussion and successful conference, as well as successful ensuing workshops. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor, and thank you, Association of African Universities. And we hope to deepen our relationship with you. We're talking this earlier on today. They're talking about doing something on their television channel and all. So we are already starting something that will go well. We hope that we can deliberate on that further. We have, as Professor Japon said, we cannot leave out the students. It's not only about professors and lecturers and management. The students are a significant part of this whole thing, of trying to transform tertiary education and make sure that the ethical content is really significant and really affects them. At the end of the day, it is how it affects students above all, who are the products of all this that we are doing, that matters at the end of the day. So fortunately, the Ghana Union, the National Union of Ghana Students, are also here with us. And then we also have the Graduate Students Association, who really, when it comes to ethics in research, are a significant part of what we are talking about. So we would like to hear from the National Union of Ghana Students, President Isaac J. Hyde.
Right, thank you very much, sir. Greetings to you all, and the chairman, all protocol duly observed. I would want to say that we as a union are very privileged to be part of this program. I mean, myself as a student and the discussions that we have had so far, the major issues raised by presenters so far, I mean, gives us a very good insight as to issues of ethics. More often than not, as much as we are tertiary students, we hear discussions, but I mean, I've never had a thorough discussion on certain specific areas as elaborated by the presenters thus far. I must also say that for the union that is spearheading the interests of student bodies across the country, matters of ethics are very important to us. This is also because the quality of the certificate that we bring out from our universities also matters on ethics. Let me cite an example. The West Africa Examination Council, for instance, over the years, have had issues of examination malpractice and leakage of papers. Then you ask yourself, how competitive does our certificates come out when we live beyond the shorelines of, let's say, the West African group of countries that subscribe to E.T.H.I.C.S? It doesn't place the value that one would expect. In any case, if you send a certificate to, let's say, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, does this hold the same standard as you would have from that of those from East Africa, South Africa, and other parts of the world? We've equally had issues of sex for grades. As much as we've had this thing, it has been a grapevine. The recent BBC investigation across our various campuses also brought this matter to light. And therefore, more often than not, when our colleague ladies hold certain certificates in terms of emerging as first class, they cast doubt as to the quality of certificates that come out there. Then again, we as university students in areas of research, where students contract their research papers to other people in order for them to make the best. I believe that issues of this conversation, if we further the conversation, it helps in broadening the scope as to how many people will be very much aware of this, because I believe that is one aspect a matter of information, is another we having the relevant stakeholders upholding the integrity of our institution, and of course whatever that is trend out there. And so I must say that we as a union are very grateful to be part of this. We hope that it doesn't end there, but would extend it to cover a broader spectrum within our educational front. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Students President, and we hope to see you come on intensively as we get along. We're coming to the end of the messages, and the last one is from Graduate Students Association of Ghana, GASAD.
Good morning.
President Hapwell Selassie.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, those in and those online, I bring you greetings from the graduate students of Ghana. It is a very big opportunity for us to be on board as far as the height. But what I want to add is that academic ethics is a very strong tool that can propel the individual not only at school but also at the work sector. It will also go a long way to boost the economy at large. We have ethics in various areas of education, but global ethics is a concept that I believe would do a lot, will go a long way to help develop the 21st century students. It is our joy that this training is in at this time that we are students, and I want to say that we are very grateful to globalethics.net for this opportunity to be on board, and graduate students are direct beneficiaries to this project. We commend you for that, and we assure you our support in diverse ways that we can. Thank you so much.
It's a big issue, especially in Europe. I remember, was it in Germany or in Denmark? One of the ministers, a minister of defense or interior, had to resign when it was found out that he had plagiarized his PhD. But two ministers, one in Germany and the other was, I think, in one Scandinavian country. So what we are talking about, it goes to the very root of governance. It's not only at the academic level. And we pray that the understanding will come and we'll just disseminate the information, not just talk about it, but help people understand it better and apply the things we are talking about. On this note, we would like to invite Patrick once again, this time not in a poem, but musically. And then we'll zoom in, we'll wind up with some information from Globethics, and then about the main program, which is a EMEF. And the key presenter on that is here. So after Patrick, we'll now go on to those details, and then we'll wind up for the day. Thank you.
Thank you once again. I am a development communications personnel with the Institute for Democratic Governance, IDEC, where I'm responsible for media communication and coordination. But aside that, I beg your pardon, in my spare time, I have a ministry which is called writing poems and writing songs. My genre is gospel music, and I'm happy to have this ministry supported by my family, of course, my wife and children. My wife is here today, and we're going to share with you a couple of the songs we've just recently released. The first is How Excellent Is Thy Name, and that's taken from Psalm 8, verse 1. It says, "O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth, who has set his glory above the heavens." Amen.
Amen.
Oh, how beautiful is your name, Jesus. Oh, how sweet is the sound of your name, oh Lord. How sweet is the name, not so bad, oh Lord. We won't magnify your name, we won't lift you up, we won't let you satisfy. So thanksgiving in our heart. We are the Nairofika, the Nairofika, excellent is thy name, Jehovah Nissi, Jehovah Nissi, Jehovah Jireh. How excellent is thy name. The name of Jesus so sweet in our ears. Some songs, yes, drives away his fears. Things are found me. I will focus on you. You will show me how to play. You're my righteousness. There's my faith to faith in you. You're my everything, Lord. We are the man of the
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Patrick Okine. And he came up this morning with severe high blood pressure, but he's standing, singing, and thanking the Lord and inspiring us all. Thank you once again. God bless you. Well, we've come to a very critical part of the program, our global ethics and ethical higher education. And this is a lady I so much respect. She is what they call in America a Wheaton graduate. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy from Wheaton College. Then she also has a Master of Arts in Divinity from Yale. Now currently the Strategic Partnerships Team Leader at Global Ethics. Now she's going to lead us in a brief presentation on Global Ethics Net in the area of higher education ethics, and from the perspective of Global Ethics, we'll throw light on that. So let's once again receive Christine Housel. Now this is her own presentation on the subject. Thank you.
Thank
Christine,
you very
you
much.
can speak now.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Thank you very much, Reverend Ansa.
Can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. If the tech team could make it possible for me to share my presentation, that would be wonderful. You know, I dreamt last night that I had set my feet upon your continent and was sharing the news with you. So I almost feel like I'm there in person. Thanks to the technologies we have access to and our amazing local tech team led by Walter, I am grateful to be with you today and plan to accompany the whole workshop process. I'd like to, on behalf of globethics.net, thank you, University of Professional Studies, Accra, for hosting this workshop ceremony. I loved hearing our chairperson's testimony about UP.SA's commitment to ethics in higher education and focus on transformation, which, as he rightly says, is right in sync with what globethics.net is all about. We are very thankful and look forward to building on this partnership. Thank you to each of our distinguished speakers for sharing your thoughts and commitments. I didn't find it repetitive, and in the sense that it's so important for us to reinforce these concepts to each other and find ways to share and articulate them meaningfully with each other and our world. And all of your comments work in this coming week with vision, and also to ground it in context, in your context, which is a value and priority for globethics.net. So the contextual global interplay is very core value for us. And I do note as well the importance of having students in the process, intergenerational dialogue and work together. I think we're all realizing is more and more essential in building our future. I wish I could mention and respond to all of you. I hope we will have a chance to meet remotely, maybe during this week or soon following it, or someday in person, and discuss in more depth possibilities for partnership in the future. Thank you for the fire from our poet and musician, Mr. Patrick Okine, if I'm saying your name correctly. It makes such a difference to bring in the arts, and I'm intrigued by the transition from STEM to STEAM, and look forward to hearing more about that. And perhaps that is also paving the way, leading the way for other places in the world. The arts help us move from head to heart, which is necessary for the inspiration we need to affect the real transformation we're looking for. And thank you for bringing your wife and the unity and diversity and joy that represents and demonstrates. Thank you to Kingdom Equip Network for mobilizing your amazing team, Susan, Mercy, Walter, and all the others to organize and implement this event. It has been a real pleasure to work with you through distance, and a special thanks to Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Ansah, who, as you know, has been working tirelessly to bring this opportunity to Ghana and to make it a success. Thank you most of all to all of you who are participating in the process as individuals and institutions. Indeed, we are here to gather your insights and expertise, and in being trained in this new tool together to give honest and deep feedback about how effective it is, how effective you find it in its current stage of development in meeting real needs. To that end, our goal is to make the tool the best one possible for partners all around the world. As Reverend Dr. Ansah has stated, we do not take your presence for granted, and we are very thankful for your investment in this process. I am going to take just a few minutes before Nadia comes on to introduce you to globethics.net's vision and resources for ethics in higher education, within which the EMET tool is set. It is meant to orient you a little bit and also to indicate where, in addition to EMET, you as individuals and institutions might benefit and connect with globethics.net. The key, which Reverend Ansah mentioned, is that we are a global platform and ultimately are as good as the participation by the partners using it and connecting through it. It is something we are co-creating, and you are warmly invited to join, benefit, and contribute. And again, we're so thankful you are already doing so through participating in this process. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Do you see the slideshow from the beginning? Okay. So we have been talking about why ethics matters. Ethics, the image of a compass can be quite a helpful one in articulating that to ourselves and others. We've made an acronym out of the word ethics, just to mention it. And I was thinking that we might develop a little curriculum, because each of these terms and concepts represents a lot. I'm just going to run through them right now. But, I was just thinking about it. It might be really worthwhile to develop a little curriculum, because that it might be a helpful introduction to people, a kind of in-depth introduction to much of what we've been talking about today. Why ethics and what is ethics? And so we see it kind of as a process. Sustainability, the ultimate goal is sustainability, and how do we achieve it? We build up talents and skills and empower people. We give them a vision, as we've been discussing. We help people see that things are connected and we can't take them in isolation and stay in our silos. And that goes for us as individuals and also for us as institutions. And I've been hearing this a lot in the discourse recently, about the need for just more connection between us within educational institutions. Again, inspiring a vision through the educational process for integrity, and then giving students some tools and our teachers tools to implement those, and developing competencies through this tool, through other tools, through courses, through training, to the ultimate goal of a unified and sustainable world, and the flourishing of individuals and institutions within it. Organization are these, and we've been enjoying working as a team, a global local team, in preparing this event, and we invite you into that team, and we invite you, to kind of consider these values intentionally as you go into the work together, as we go into the work together, that we're all assuming responsibility in the process. We're looking for quality, and we will be honest with each other. We will aim to strengthen our team, and as we are honest, we will respect each other, and in all of that, we hope to build trust. And we do want to take the context we're in seriously, and at the same time think about what can unify us globally, and to kind of constantly keep that question in mind, and then to pay attention to inclusion. In fact, we are working with higher education institutions as a kind of primary stakeholder in our network. And through that, it's administrators, teachers, students, and the professionals who graduate. And where some of our tools and trainings focus probably most on teachers, graduate students, and administrators, there are resources and possibilities for professionals in different fields, because we have brought together scholarship and educational opportunities around the cutting edge ethical issues in our world, and brought experts into some very interesting dialogue. And so this is accessible to people, and also, of course, to our students. And so we have some different materials targeted and developed specifically for these kind of different groups within the world of higher education. And the EMET falls within institutional life. This is meant to be a tool that can be used and can be helpful to higher education institutions. And implemented and employed by the professionals working within it. Then, of course, the EMET, as somebody said earlier, the EMET benefits the higher education professionals, both teachers and leaders, administrators, who train themselves in it and help implement it, because it's a formation and it's a competency, to improve your standing, and also just to integrate into yourself. And so it's a kind of resourcing for both individuals and institutions. In a moment, I'll say a little more about other courses that we have developed. And I'll say more about courses for both students and teachers. So we have, as I mentioned, brought together professionals in ethics regarding environmental issues, business ethics, corporate social responsibility, responsible leadership, cyber ethics, and the list goes on. And so there are a few that we have at intercultural dialogue for peace. And so there are and church leaders. We have projects that, as Reverend Emmanuel mentioned, the ACAP program, which is looking at the applied ethics into a project and a program, which means looking at how do we ethically and responsibly and interestingly and smartly manage our resources and turn that into action. And so some of our offerings are educational, and some of them are projects that emerge from that. And the sky is the limit, and this is what we're talking about with partnership, because we're proposing some things, and then those in our network are doing the same, and then we co-develop as we move on. We have developed an online learning platform, our academy, and we have developed, we really began our work by developing a digital library, which is open access and freely downloadable. We have developed a publications platform. All of the publications that we do go into our library. All of them are accessible and downloadable. And we have prided ourselves on publishing PhD dissertations and being available as a platform for those who might like to publish with us affordably. And we then also initiate publications that we're bringing together scholars. We have a truly global community with individual participants, organizations, higher education institutions, and partners with similar interests all over the world. And just to perhaps mention a couple of, through the Academy, a couple of the courses that we have right now. We have the flagship courses, actually Ethics in Higher Education. One module of it is for teaching professionals. One module of it is for administrators. And we're currently running one for teaching professionals, as well as a course which we implemented, we developed with Michael Hopkins, who's an expert in the field, and then we've contextualized it with school and here. Very soon in April, we're running a course on interface. More about this. I'm here to discuss that with you. Open to you. As an individual, if you go to our website, at the very top, there's a place to put in your email. And by doing so, you will have access to all of the resources on our library platform. Most of them are available without doing that, but by doing it, you'll have access to all of them. And you also will receive our newsletter for updates to get those from Nadia or Reverend Emmanuel as time goes on. And if you would like to just discuss, go through the materials, learn more, and think about partnership together, I'm here and available and look forward to it. And I think it's there that I will stop and turn the floor back to Reverend Emmanuel Ansa. Thank you so much for your attention.